So as you guys know from watching my most recent video, we had someone make history by winning with Infernity for the first time, I think ever. I was checking historical deck lists, stuff like that. There really has never been anyone to win with Infernity in Tengu Plant format. So we have BS45 here with me, trying to explain his deck and even kind of go over some of the replays. I think it'd be cool to kind of take a deeper dive into it because I think this is a really underexplored deck in the format because it's really hard. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, so I piloted this deck in Rumble, and I'd say like the deck is quite enjoyable to play, but it has obviously like a hard learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
So, so that's basically it.
Yeah,
So we could go over the deck list.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, yeah.
So a card I want to
So
ask about right off the gate is Summoner Monk. I like this is like because I actually put your build together. So I
mhm.
tested a lot of this. Like I've been testing it just in general, just kind of on my own time. And the one card that I like immediately cut was Summoner Monk. Like I felt like I drew way too many monsters in this list. But I know when you sent me your other list, like the updated one, you actually added more monsters to it. So I wanted to know your thoughts on that.
right. So a general game 2 and game 3 strategy was actually cutting Summoner Monk from the main deck because it's very susceptible to like cards like Solemn Warning and Veiler Maxi.
Hmm.
So it's really not that good in the going second type of games.
Hmm.
So the only reason I have it game 1 is because I really like enjoy Gold Sarking sometimes for Summoner Monk with Tour Guide just
Mm.
to have like a rank 4 play.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. So, is there anything like, I guess, like after playing the entire event, is there anything that you would change, or like, what did you really like? Like, what worked well, what was bad? I would guess. I say, I guess, yeah, like
Right.
that.
So I think for the most part, the monster line is a bit monster heavy, like you said. It's
Hmm.
like Summoner Monk is cuttable for sure. I'm currently testing a new list with only one Mirage.
Mm.
So, because Mirage opening hand is really bricky.
Hmm.
Like the only ways of getting it out is with Stygian, the bike, and 1 for 1.
Yeah.
So right now I'm testing one copy of it because you don't really need it only until mid game where it's searchable off Archfiend.
Yeah.
Um, so that's one thing I might change,
Yeah. That's
or two things
something
actually.
I kind of thought about
Yeah.
as well because I noticed that same thing. Like you kind of brick on the card a lot. It's obviously a phenomenal top deck late game, and it's like something that sucks in your hand early. But given the fact that like even if you banish it, like whatever, like because you're on 3 copies of Tour Guide, this card should always be like summonable in some capacity. You should always be able to get it back in some way, right? Like especially by using like in 100 Eyes Dragon stuff like that, you can always get this card either banished or back to your grave somehow just through doing like weird combos and stuff like that. So I think one could actually make a lot of sense.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's so many like cute interaction with Mirage, like you said. There's 100 Eyes, and there's also like searchable break. So you just like banish it from your own graveyard
Hmm.
and have like Levy. So you just have a follow up for next turn. So
Yeah.
that's a pretty cool combo. In terms of spells, I think the spells were like perfect. Like
Yeah.
I drew both card as many times as I needed. It's not only like it works without tour guide. It works with tour guide. It just works in general because like you could combo it with tour guide by banishing like Greffer, empty your hand, or you could like banish like key combo pieces like Heavy Storm or Monster Reborn and just like apply a lot of pressure before
Yeah.
adding the card back to your hand.
Yeah, I noticed that, and that because like when I first attempted, like until I like looked at your replays, which we're gonna look at as a group here in a little bit, but until I looked at your replays, I didn't know what to search with Gold Sark if you weren't going for like a tour guide combo. But then I realized, like you said, banishing Monster Reborn is actually so powerful because as you just naturally play the game, you're getting your graveyard set up, and Monster Reborn just bring back Necromancer to bring back Archfiend. It's like you get so much value out of just that single card. So getting that to your hand is absolutely insane in like most cases, and so I really like it. I also like that this can just like basically, instead of setting it as a back row where like you are susceptible to heavy, you can just activate it and banish, and then you don't have to worry about that card for 2 turns, and you can basically keep that no hand status. So I love Gold Sark in this deck. I've done so much crazy stuff with just using this and Tour Guide for turn 1 combos. It feels incredible.
It is really incredible. But one thing to know for people trying to play the deck, if you don't have Tour Guide and you have Ghost Arc, it's probably not a good idea to banish a monster because what your opponent could do is summon their own Tour Guide and leviate the target that you banished off Ghost Arc.
Yeah, that's very. I actually got punished by that the other day too, because I greedy banished an Archfiend and it was not the correct play.
Yeah, so that could come up.
Yeah.
Um, Additional spells that were really useful during the event was Mind Control. Mind
Oh yeah.
Control was really insane for taking like Reborn Tengu, stopping the float, and Ryo.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Mind Control. I always say it is the best card in Tengu Player format. This card is way too good. How did Tour Guide feel for you, just generically? Like, because like what I kind of like about this card is not only can you summon just Necromancer from deck, which like even though its effect is negated, you can like exceed with it, and like it still sets up your graveyard by putting Necromancer in it. But also you can like summon from your hand to like just reduce
Yep.
hand size, which is kind of crazy too. No, so like, did you like a maxed like 3 Tour Guide?
Yeah, for sure. 3 Tour Guides like amazing because like it baits out so much stuff. Like for example, like if you go Tour Guide turn 1 and they max you, you could just stop on Tour Guide Necromancer, and it's really hard for most decks to clear a 2000 defense monster. Like for example, agents, the best they could do is like Venus Gachi, and 2000 cannot out Necromancer. So it's like
Yeah,
you just stop there and it'll be okay.
yeah. No, that's really cool. That I have experienced that. I play against agents a lot. Just setting a necromancer just kind of actually walls them off unless they want to summon Hyperion or something, and that's kind of funny.
Yeah, for
um.
sure. Like
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
so another thing that I noticed was like if you couldn't combo turn 1, setting Necromancer is actually a viable play because
Hmm.
it stops like Ryo and like other like pesky monsters, so it just buys you a turn.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, the big booty is super nice on this card. Another thing I wanted to ask you about is because like your extra deck, I think this was like the first thing I like alongside cutting Summoner Monk. When I went to the extra deck, like I cut Colossal Fighter instantly, and
Yeah, for sure.
I
It
think,
was
I
a clutch
mean,
shot.
you made a case for Roach, like you really enjoyed Roach, and like in your one of your matches, it was really good. But I personally cut Roach for Dark End Dragon because I felt Dark End Dragon comes up a lot to just out really annoying cards like TGs or Gotchi. But I don't know what is correct. I guess I found myself not making as many rank fours. Um, but I know you made a lot of rank fours in your matches, so I don't know how you feel about that. But like extra deck space is weirdly tight because of the tour guide.
The most cuttable cards in the extra deck, as you mentioned, is like the Steel Swarm and the Colossal.
Yeah.
Um,
You could also cut Stardust Dragon in theory. I don't think I've ever
no, no,
made
no.
Stardust Dragon in this
You have
deck.
to keep it. You have
Really?
to keep it for one reason. One reason that only is when you do your first synchro play,
Yeah.
which is normally in the eighth. Instead of going like Mirage, summon Necromancer Archfiend, you should go Necromancer Avenger, and then summon the Archfiend off of Mancer. That way
Mm.
you could search the launcher, and then you don't have to set the launcher right away, but you can make Stardust instead. So that way it
They
plays around
can't
MST.
MST the. Oh, I see. Yeah,
Yes.
that makes a lot of sense.
So
Okay,
it's
that's
just a way
fair.
to play around MST.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart. I didn't think about that. So yeah, no, I guess that makes a lot of sense for Stardust. Cause like I'm just thinking about cards because like I keep doing like I'm messing around with the deck, so I keep doing combos. So like the cards I think I've made the least would be like Stardust, Scrap, and then I do make the rank fours occasionally, but I've always just done Utopia. And we kind of talked in DMs about Wind Up Zenmeister. I don't know if you think that card's worth, because obviously it gives you an immediate detach. So in the scenarios where you have like you a Necromancer and you just need to get Archfiend back in grave, it can like continue combo. I mean, I think I've also seen you just enter battle phase and attack with Utopia and negate its own attack. So yeah, I don't know what.
Um, for the most part, like Zenmayo comes out like maybe one in like 50 games. It's not that often,
Mhm.
but when it does come out, it's pretty strong because it puts at the end of the turn a face-up attack position. It flips a monster into face-up attack position, so it
Yeah,
makes barrier alive
yeah,
as
that's true
well.
too. Yeah, it does have a lot of weird synergies. I don't know. So would you opt to run it, or do you think it's not worth it?
So the cards that I would cut from my extra deck would probably be Colossal. I never made it in the tournament.
Hmm.
Could be Still Swarm and maybe Scrap Dragon, but Scrap Dragon is just generically good, so I'd probably keep it.
Yeah.
So I'd probably cut these two monsters for either the rank 4 Zenmayos or Thought Ruler Archfiend. Thought Ruler because I struggle a bit with managing my life points with the Solemn Brigade actually, and
Mm.
so it might come up. Haven't
Yeah,
tested it yet. But
that's true. Plus, there's a
yes,
lot of turns where you just kind of have to take hits. I found with Infernity, like you just have to take a lot of damage because like once you combo off, you're gonna be very winning. But like sometimes you have to stall to get to that combo, and that means taking
exactly.
like 3 direct hits.
And I'm pretty sure like against like control decks, cards like Lance and like what do you call it, like Dimensional Prison are
Hmm.
like somewhat used in their deck, so it's like not bad in those scenarios as well.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, I think that's all the questions I have about the build, and I know you're kind of limited on time too. So, do you want to hop in and kind of go over your replay so we could get some like gameplay?
Yeah, just quickly, I just want to mention that the build was built with one of my friends, David Turtle Green. He helped me a lot with the list, and I appreciate it. So yeah, we can move on to the replays.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, gotta give the shout outs. Shout outs to David. So this was round one. You were against Leigh Murphy. And I think Leigh Murphy was on Tengu plants, if I remember right.
Yeah, think so.
Oh, and you win the die roll. Look at that.
Game one, winning Dyro, first round feels amazing.
Yeah, so this hand is kind of spicy. You don't. I
It
don't
gets
think you have
better.
combo
Yeah.
here. Do you have
I
combo?
do. I do. I do. I do.
Okay, here. I'm just gonna
I
fast
think the play
forward.
is like Scraffer, discard one of them,
Discard
get Viking
Necromancer.
Graveyard.
Oh yeah. So you
Yeah,
do
yeah.
have combo here.
But one thing here is Necromancer should be in attack mode just so I can make Utopia. So the reason why
Oh
Utopia is
yeah.
good turn one is because um it stops any threats attacking Necromancer in attack mode,
Mm-hmm.
and assuming let's say I end on this board, right, and my
Yeah.
opponent doesn't do anything, I can't combo next turn. So
Mm-hmm.
with Utopia on my turn, I could detach a material during battle phase, resurrect the Archfiend, and then combo on main phase too.
Yeah, that's
So
very true. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's a really weird interaction, but I do think that's super relevant because yeah, like it kind of has like similar feels to like X Sabers where like you make Nat Beast and then put Full Helm on field so you can block the attack so they can't tour guide over it, and then you're just kind of like slowly winning the game. So yeah, same scenario here. Because I mean, we obviously see the dark hole here coming too.
yeah, unfortunately, it didn't really matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, I guess he has MST Dark Hole, so either way, he knows where your card is.
Yeah, that's basically it. So now I'm just waiting for a good top deck.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we were talking about like earlier is I think the beautiful part about Infernities is you do have a lot of phenomenal top deck options. Why did you warning
Yeah,
the formula just so he couldn't continue?
yeah, but I realized he didn't normal summon that yet, so I was like, oh,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
over.
yeah. Because I mean, I don't know if you knew he had Debris Dragon, but
Yeah, I didn't know what he had. I had no
yeah.
hand knowledge.
Oh
So that's one
yeah,
thing I changed with my deck. I removed Infernity Inferno for Dust Shoot.
really? You don't like
Yeah,
Inferno? I really
I
liked
don't like
Inferno.
Inferno. I normally start it game 2 and 3 out. So here I get like blown out
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he just makes
Funny
Scrap
enough,
Dragon with 2 tokens,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's OP.
Funny enough, if he didn't hit the MST, I could have won.
Oh, true. Yeah, because you would have end phase space, you would have had Archfiend plus 1 for 1.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so you
that was a
actually had
bit
combo.
50-50.
Yeah.
It was,
Alright, well
it was
here
all
we get
right.
to go first again. You make the Leviathan Dragon turn 1. Here's the Mirage we bricking on, you know.
This is all fine.
Yeah.
I went in warning here
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
summon of lucky me. I drew mind control.
Yeah, that's really good. Swinging for 25. Dark Hole again. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like you have to warning that with the Mirage in hand.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and that's so
Unfortunately, I drew
unlucky.
another.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is my bane in Infernity, because like I'll have it where like you have the Mirage in hand, you're like, okay, I'm about to go off, and then you just draw the monster every single time. You're like, man, I need any back row, and it's fine.
lucky for me, my opponent didn't have any back row or hand trap, so
Or
it worked
Dark's
out
a
in the end.
grave.
This is all fine. Like, I think he summons Ryo again.
Yeah, just normal summon Ryo, swing over, but you have Dark Hole, so you're chilling.
Finally, don't draw a monster, and then I just combo.
Yeah.
Again, I make the same mistake I did game one. It's Necromancer in defense mode.
Mm,
But
yeah.
it doesn't matter in this scenario. But yeah,
Yeah, that makes
it's just
sense.
something to know because like next turn you can't really search anything.
Yeah. Ooh, the heavy. That's big. And no
It
Veiler
was
for the
big.
tour guide. Yeah, this is sick.
Like one thing I noticed with standard Infernity lists is they have a really hard time outing Ryo without
Yeah.
tour guide.
Yeah, no, the tour guide I think has been it's been an amazing difference even for me. Just to out like
Pressure was a
Thunderking's.
good top deck here.
Yeah, that was
It emptied my
insane.
hand.
Your hand is like still pretty bricky.
Still bricky.
Yeah. Oh wait, actually, I was gonna talk about this because I saw you use Greffer's effect. You dumped the tour guide instead of Necromancer, but I thought you had an angle here with like you could have dumped
Yeah, you could
Necromancer,
combo here.
normal summon tour guide. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go full combo. But is there a reason you
Yeah,
didn't, or did you just
I don't
not
know. I
see the
thought the
angle?
back row was real, to be
Oh,
honest.
yeah. I guess there's
But
two back.
at this point, I should be forcing back row since I'm in the leading position.
Yeah.
So that was a small misplay.
There's the dark hole again. Alright, so he's got 2 tokens. But you're in a like this is like a good position as long as these back rows aren't warning.
Which they aren't, which I'm lucky, really lucky.
Yeah. 3 back row, no warning, feels pretty strong. There's the MSC.
This was iffy. The MST was So this is what I was talking about, right?
Mhm.
So if I went Necromancer, Avenger, then
Mhm.
I would have Launcher still.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So Stardust does come up if you're trying to play around MS2.
Yeah.
But this setup right here, the Necromancer Synchro 5 is impossible to deal with for one reason. If they try and break Mancer or the Synchro Monster, you always have Avenger coming back,
Yeah, you have
reaching
the A.
100 eyes. It's like really hard for them to deal with.
Yeah, that's really smart. Yeah, and
Like
you just kind
sometimes
of
you can make
crawled
100
back.
eyes. Yeah, yeah. So sometimes you make 100 eyes on your turn, but it's not worth it because then you banish a Necromancer from your graveyard.
Hmm.
But if you hold Necromancer on field with the Synchro 5, you put so much pressure. One, because they have to clear Mancer next turn, or else I gain a huge amount of advantage the following turn. But if they do clear it by battle, then I can always make 100 eyes next turn with the Avenger,
Yeah.
since it becomes level 3.
Yeah, that's really sick to think about. Like I don't know, this is my kind of like my favorite part about Infernity because, like I said, like we both kind of acknowledge this deck is really hard. Like you literally went through like won this tournament and did like performed really well, but there's still like so many like micro optimizations you could do in the deck, and that's why I love this deck. I think like high skill ceiling decks are so fun to watch. All
Yeah.
right, and we'll move on to round 2. You were against Himne in the Falcon Punch, and I think there was a misplay in this match, or a couple. I don't
Oh,
remember. We're watching
I
the
had
top
no
POV.
I had no experience with this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, this looks good so far.
Yeah, so far so good.
You made Catastor though. Like, why not? Since because you have the launcher here, like, why not synchro and make, or why not make either get the barrier so they can't heavy, or go for like synchro with the Archfiend. Like, you could technically Trish rip a card out and then do another summon. In theory, like you could
So
use launcher.
that wasn't a path I could have taken for
Mm,
sure. I could have Trish turn 1, rip a card, and then make a Synchro 5 with Archfiend Avenger.
mm,
Or I could have just like held on Avenger on field just to make Barrier live.
yeah,
But I'm not too sure why I did this. I think I was really greedy and I wanted to resolve like a huge launcher, to be honest.
yeah. Well, because yeah, I just see this as like this is like super scary to me, right? Like you
Yeah,
have
this
the
is so
launcher face
susceptible.
up. It's susceptible to like heavy MST. Like there's so many things
Yeah,
that you just
it's
lose
very
to.
greedy.
Yeah,
I think this turn 1 almost cost me game 1 actually. So now my launcher is like live for 2 Infernities.
yeah.
So I'm lucky with that. I got Valor, that's fine.
Oh yeah, this
Here I
was
don't know if
another
you make.
thing. Why not use Rhoda first? Because you could normal the Arma and then you could like send the Necromancer and then pop
Yeah,
the launcher.
that was true. I wasn't too sure actually. I'd have to look, but can we see his back row?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think he would interrupt it. Like, he probably would Valor the Arma, which is fine, but I do think it does apply a bit more pressure because now, like, you can
yeah.
send, like, because you want to get Necromancer online, obviously, and so like if he Valors the Arma, that's like best case scenario for you because now you have Trish, which I mean he
Hmm.
still has an answer to, but I think it could
No,
be
he
a bit
doesn't.
better. He has the
He
Fiendish
can't
chain.
answer. I chain break.
Oh, true, true, true. Yeah, so I think that might have just been strictly better would be Rhoda first.
Yeah, maybe. I feel really
Oh,
rusty with this deck.
well, I dumped the Summoner Bug there too.
Oh, and then I lose to a Mirror Force.
Yeah, but why'd you dump
Yeah,
Summoner Bug?
there's. I didn't want to top deck it because the way I see it is just like I want good top decks left in my deck. So
I see.
right now in this current situation, I have 3 Necromancers and 2 Archfiend, I think.
Yeah,
Monster Reborn. So yeah, but yeah, this turn was not sequenced well at all. I could have trished him.
yeah.
It was a bad sequencing for sure.
Oh, but we
Top deck the
still top the
Archfiend.
Archfiend! Wait, oh, he knows you have Break, that's why he doesn't Fiendish Chain.
In this specific matchup, I think it's correct to go break instead of barrier.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just because I think Falcon Punch, they get a lot of advantage through battle phase.
Mhm.
So it's like this was okay.
Yeah, you get the full combo here, which is filthy.
Then I
So,
go Levier.
yeah.
Eventually I go Levier. Levier is so crazy.
Yeah, well, you can also do the because like this is like looks like a good scenario for the armory arm Stygians.
Colossal.
No, armory arm with this guy.
Stygian.
Like, yeah, because you'll do like almost game there. No, with
So I did a bit of testing and basically Armory Arm plus Stygian, the Synchro 5 at least is a 7200 on board with
yeah,
all the burn and applications. So yeah, it would have been game if he didn't. I don't know what his back row is, but yeah, you're right.
which I mean I think you probably still win anyway.
But I did a funny play where I crashed Synchro 5 I think just to get a level 5
Oh,
Avenger.
yeah, get the Avenger.
So I get to combo further on my main phase too.
It's definitely the like Infernity brained play to make, right? You're like, oh, I could just combo harder here instead of winning the game. But it's fine. He scoops anyway, so you catch the dub. I see the
This was for
Twister.
sure like the worst I've played in the tournament against Himne. Like
Yeah.
my game 1 was for sure winnable.
Yeah. Well, you won game
And
one, no? Yeah, so you
no,
won game one. That last game you won, he scooped.
oh yeah, yeah.
But I
But
think
that
it's like the
was
2 and
that could have
3.
been cleaner.
Yeah, that could have been
It
a
could have
lot
been
cleaner. Yeah, he's got Maxi Crow. That feels kind of bad.
turn 1. I was contemplating setting the Twister, but it was very mind games because it's either he end phase on my turn, end phase Call of the Haunted or whatever,
Yeah.
or he does it on
Oh,
his
I
turn.
see.
So I lost the mind game.
Yeah. The Dark Spear into Brio. Bouncing. Yeah, bouncing your monsters does not feel good.
This
Plus
was a bit
dad.
sack. This was crazy sack.
Yeah. He kind of had the nuts there. I think this was one where it was you goofed.
I goofed really hard, but my hand was terrible. Double tour
Yeah.
guide, double Mancer was not good.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
noticed, I
Oh
held
yeah.
the Goat Shark.
Yeah, I noticed that. But you also set the. Oh, you held it because you have tour guide, right?
Yeah.
But also you set the dark hole, which I don't think you should ever ever do here in a hand state like this. No, like.
Alternatively, I could have said Goat Shark even instead
Yeah,
of Darko. That would have been fine.
but I
So
mean,
yeah,
yeah,
now I'm really down bad.
yeah, because
It's
this
like really
Drago
bad.
just walls you so hard. And I mean, like, I guess, like, Thunder King doesn't, but you knew he was on Drago from game 2, so that's why it was like, alright, you probably gotta hold Dark Hole to respect that card.
For sure.
Now you can Gold Sark for something.
I think this was a bad Goat Shark. I think I banished Forbidden Lance. But
Oh, yeah.
I have no good ban like targets honestly.
Yeah. The Lance doesn't really accomplish much either.
So this was a huge misplay on my part, if you could pause it. Basically, on my turn, I could have cleared the Draco, right? With 2 level 3s into
Oh,
number
yeah.
17.
You could have made Leviathan, and you still have Tour Guide, so you have something.
And Mirror Force.
Yeah.
Well, the Mirror Force would have died, but now yeah, it's over from here.
Yeah.
So this was my loss of the tournament.
Yeah. A combination of bad hand and then just a like,
Bad sequencing.
yeah. Because even, like, adding this Lance just feels bad here, because, like, let's say you did banish Monster Reborn and you would have gone for the Leviathan play to out the Drago, you know what I'm saying? Then, like, you're in a significantly better spot.
So yeah.
Alright, we'll move on to the next round. I'm trying to go through these quickly because I don't want to, I don't want to, like, kill your time.
No problem.
Oh my gosh! The 5 monster hand.
Still playable, I think. Because you have
Yeah, with Gold
Bike in
Sark.
hand. Bike in hand is really good to empty your hand.
Yeah. He goes
I think
for 8
I
Hammer
think
Spray.
the opponent was like super pressured to clear my board.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have any, like, live back row or hand trap, so, like...
Here I decided just to like pressure, but it doesn't pan out. Well,
It does pan out, technically, because you get the...
yeah.
he
I feel like
forced the... I don't know. I don't
yeah.
think he should go for the fall troll there. Like, I'm never a fan of burning 2 monsters on a roach.
Yeah,
Play, you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Reasonably speaking, he has Monster Reborn. Oh, the Bogart's under his thing. But yeah, I think
Made
you have
it
to, like,
super
play
awkward
this
for him.
slow. Because even with this board state, you don't actually have a combo with, like, all 3 of these exceeds, right? Like, he could technically just stall. He doesn't have to do anything.
I forgot why he searched, and then I was like, all right, it's time to through like, and then just combo from here.
Yeah. That's super funny. This combo do go off.
Yeah, so this is the like my bread and butter combo when I'm
Yeah.
playing Infinities.
Mm-hmm.
I make
Okay, there's the Stardust to protect from MST, which, I mean, it wasn't, but it makes sense.
yeah.
Then Scrap Dragon. Oh, and he just scoops. Interesting. So there was no 100 eyes really used there.
I don't think I needed it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's one thing I learned when doing Tournament of Tournaments with Joe. Me and Joe kind of talked about like combo lines with Infernity, and sometimes like the Hydro Pump line is pretty good, but sometimes it's just like not really worth it. This was ballsy. You just
For
like
me?
yeah, because like I guess are you trying to like bluff barrier? Because like what if he just heavies you, or even has like a decree?
I'll take the risk. I'll take the risk.
That's a gamble.
Infinity is a very high risk, high reward deck at the end of the day. You have to empty your hand and get punished by Decree, Heavy Storm, Ryo, cards like that.
Yeah,
I did get heavy technically with this their
Hyunwei.
synchro monster.
Yeah,
It looks very bad for me, but the top decks get me out of this situation, I think.
yeah.
Eventually.
Thank God you had the black horn here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
In this
it's
scenario, like he's not playing right now. None of us are playing because
yeah,
of how many hand traps he boarded in.
yeah. Ooh, the
So now
big
I'm putting
monster.
so much pressure.
Yeah, this is really big too. He has Valor, but it doesn't really matter. You can
One
sync.
thing he should have done is normal on my normal summon Valor the changing of modes of Mancer. So then
Oh
Mancer
yeah,
isn't a
yeah, because then he could just swing over. He doesn't actually need to burn Minecon there either.
so here he could have actually gone for game,
Mhm.
except he forgot about the Avenger. Or I think it's next turn actually. Avenger is very strong just for stalling
Yeah.
during battle phase. Yeah.
Okay, so we get 100 eyes. Now we're going full combo, and I feel like you just lose the game here if you're him.
The Hydro Pump list, I feel like the 300 eyes is like super like win more. Like if you resolve
Yeah.
like at least 200 eyes, you're fine. Like three
Yeah,
is a bit excessive.
I noticed that as well, where you don't actually need to go like full send. But also, I will say, like, why didn't you like in this scenario? I think you could have gone Necromancer, like you could have brought back Mirage with Levier. You know what I'm saying?
I don't do it.
No, you didn't. I can't go back, but it was like because you used
Okay.
you made Necromancer like you synchroed
Yeah.
for the 100 eyes, and then you
Yeah.
had the 100 eyes banish Necromancer, bring back Archfiend.
The Levier play I don't think was good because I don't think I can make an 8 after it.
You
I'm not
should,
sure.
because you can bring back the Mirage. I don't know. It was just.
Or maybe I don't have board space with the Levier. No, I think I don't know. I'd have to check.
Yeah. Oh well, it doesn't matter. He scoops.
Yeah. After he's like he should have made Brio
Oh yeah, and then he could have played.
because if he attacks then Avenger triggers, so that's the issue.
Yeah, but if he Brio's there, then you can he can just go for game.
Exactly. This
All right.
was against Gravekeepers.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, and I saw this. Did you know he was on Gravekeepers? Because you just gold sarked heavy.
Yeah. So before the tournament, we're given like a spreadsheet of like what everyone's playing as well. So
Oh, okay, okay.
not only that, it's like it's a very good go start target if you don't have tour guide.
Yeah.
Like my non tour guide targets are either heavy or Monster Reborn.
You get Royal
Mm.
Tributed, which does not really matter.
It's really iffy, right? Since I'm setting back row
Yeah.
when I have a heavy storm coming,
Yeah.
but it works out at the end. It works out.
Because now we get
So now I
monster.
banish.
Okay, and now Graveyard's relatively set up here, which is kind of sick. And then he goes for
I'm
5 back
surprised he's
row.
setting more.
Yeah, because then the heavy, we just scooped that.
I don't think he knew about the ruling with the solemn warning in Starlight Road.
Yeah,
I think that was the issue why he set more cards after he knew I had Heavy Storm set.
this Vanity's Fiends is low-key scary. Because I don't know how your deck outs Vanity's Fiends outside of like
Alright,
break.
so against Gravekeepers, I do side double, or what's my spreadsheet? I side double Twister and like Auto Traps as well for this matchup.
Yeah, the D prisons. Just comes up here, get the heavy. Oh, and you literally have the... Oh wait, you could have barrier. Oh no, you couldn't barrier. I guess you could have technically barriered that, but you set everything.
I can't have a hand. That's a problem.
Yeah. I'm saying like if you wanted to set everything, but here it's like fine. Now you set everything. Hey, Veilers.
You can't. It's in draw phase, right? It's funny. Like people side in so many hand traps, and then like those rare scenarios where you're in top decking mode.
Yeah.
You just pick an Archfiend and they can't stop it unless it's specifically warning or like Herald.
He scoops here, but also in theory, like
Yeah,
so.
Veiler.
Yeah, he could have chained Veiler to the Mirage because you don't have priority. Like, you know, he can chain to this whole thing.
I would have been in a bad spot, but he doesn't have any. Maybe top sex monster. I'm not sure to out the Mirage. But yeah.
Well, actually, wait, no. Can you Veiler here? Because like nothing can respond to the barrier, right? So like you heavy, he has to Starlight. You barrier, he can't, and then resolution. Now you have priority on Mirage.
Oh, I maintain priority after
you
speed 3.
Well, yeah, it's because like nothing can respond to a barrier except another counter trap, right? So you're gonna blow out his back row, and then you have priority on Mirage, like in like open game state, right?
Yeah. Okay. So then he was screwed,
so he was doomed either way. At least I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Someone can correct me. Alright, moving into... this isn't quite top 4. This is like last round before... Oh, no.
Yeah, last round. This is make or break for me. I'm surprised my opponent didn't maxi me.
Oh, yeah. I guess they don't expect you to go off that hard turn 1 with a tour guide, right? If they don't know what you're doing. You have a lot of stopping points there.
I love searching barrier instead of break. Wait, it's the other way around. I like searching break because it combos so well with Levier.
Yeah, that's true. But right now you're just kind of weenie beating them. And now we have combo.
So I bait out the back row, I guess, and then just combo from here.
Yeah, you have Trish here too if you want it. Yeah, you go do.
I should have went for Trish.
Yeah. Trish plus, but I guess this keeps your barrier alive. But you could have searched break.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
There's the Deadly Thunder King. Banish the Mirage.
You would think Ryo would. You think Ryo would be an issue, but I keep drawing Minecon or.
True. All you have to do is just draw Minecon and Ryo doesn't matter. The DB1 of algorithm working its magic. Alright. The old Tengu Plant player having Dark Hole for the Utopia too.
Yeah.
Oh, that was...
Oh, this was brutal.
Yeah, that was good.
One thing I like about Utopia is like it stalls for Gold Strike as well too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now...
So I don't have a good target.
So you just take his Thunder King? Yeah, that makes sense. And then Judge with a tour guide for simplified game state. Respect. Oh, and then we top deck. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, like, that was something I noticed about how you were playing your games, which, like, it's really strong, is, like, Infernity has so many strong top decks. Literally nothing matters, right? Like, with how, like, basically you can, like, play to, like, aggressively simplify the game state for your opponent, and then you're happy in a simplified game state because of all your good top decks, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly. Even after Trish, if you notice, I'm playing tour guide, right? So
Yeah,
even a top deck tour guide gets you to combo because you go Levier, add special summon the banish Archfiend.
yeah. So this, I mean, like in reality, like just looking at the deck, it feels so strong to me because it's like I like you do just apply a lot of pressure. If you get heavy tier, you lose though.
That's why I stand by the Call of the Haunted.
Yeah,
But that's the thing, right? Like I'm applying so much pressure just with Ghost Arc. Like
yeah,
he has to answer it.
yeah. He knows what's coming, but like, what does this do? The Catastor does nothing. This would do something, but that doesn't matter now. Now we have combo or close to combo.
He, he forces it. I force out his Herald.
Yeah,
This was actually a very scary game one.
yeah. What's the top deck? Okay, that's a good top deck.
I'm just lucky. What can I say?
Well, I mean, there's still so like if you look at like the situation, like there's a ton of insane top decks in your deck still, right? Like
Yeah.
you have triple necromancer, like you said, like there's just so many things. Even technically, like tour guide's not terrible.
So it's not bad because of you could banish the Mancer too.
Yeah,
Unfortunately I drew dead, so now it's getting really scary.
I'm surprised he didn't heavy first. That was like a misplay. Now,
Yeah. This he could have won here. I'll explain why. So if we could pause right here.
yeah,
So here, if he clears the Mirage, I have little. I'm preying on my top deck basically,
yeah,
right? With the Shine Ball into Mirage. So
yeah.
what I do, I was like, all right, we can try and bait him. I'll trigger Avenger, and then he takes the bait and clears the Avenger.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. He clears it and then. Oh my god. Yeah, that's insane.
But luckily, if he does clear the Mirage, I had Necromancer. That's just,
Yeah,
but yeah,
damn. And then this is the hand of hands here to like deal with what you got going
this is
on.
the God Hand for agents.
We got Honest, Earth, Thunder King, double back C versus you. That feels kind of bad. Well, that's one thing. I haven't
I
really
was
seen back
realizing,
C be
yeah,
relevant against you yet, right? Like, I'm yet to see it hurt. Oh, that feels bad.
this was so brutal.
uh,
Black Rose into Hyperion Christia.
yeah, I don't know if you're coming out of this one. And yeah, oh, and then he normal summons Thunder King, and you want to cry.
Yeah, I had to go next.
Sometimes they just open the nuts, you know. All right,
But
this
this turn, I combo so hard.
yeah, this looks insane.
I got super lucky with my opening hand.
Yeah, hey, but that's the thing is like I noticed with your build too, like comboing turn one is like very doable, like surprisingly doable. Like because like I noticed on like the hydro pump list, like when me and Joe were testing it, like I felt like it was like 1% of games you could combo turn one. But this deck, like I mean, it's still not like crazy often, but like you can get like full combo. Like I have done like the equivalent of this at least a couple times in my testing, and that's like way better than what it has been.
Yeah, I think Ghost Arc is a very vital piece of my deck, at
Yeah.
least, in terms of comboing. Because if it's not that, then it's standard lists are playing what? Infernity Inferno, I think,
Yeah,
to
so the
combo.
Hydro Pump list was doing Inferno, and then it was like Duality plus Upstart, just trying to like get to your pieces quickly, which like makes some sense. But this build basically gets to play the game in a slower pace, or have the opportunity for turn one combo, which is kind of what I like about it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right, and so now here's grand finals against Worms, which like I on paper I think this should be like not a terrible matchup for you.
Right, because all my searchable traps just stops like all the major plays of them.
Yeah. And we have warning for the X.
Here I get super greedy. I try and go for the kill right here, right now. And then I
Yeah.
get punished super hard. So right now, I realize Grapher cannot attack because it was summoned off Summoner
Summoner
Monk.
Monk, that's
So
why I made Utopia.
yeah. So now it's just like I'm scared. I don't proc Master because I'm scared of warning. But at the time, I didn't know if he had warning.
Yeah.
So I lose from here.
Oof.
I got greedy.
Yeah, because if you actually take your time there, there's no way he can win. Like, you could literally just pass, get your barrier live, and then he loses the game. Like, it's worms, right? Like, they don't have a lot of crazy combos. There's that beautiful mind control winning another game.
Mind control MVP, honestly.
I'm surprised he didn't. I guess he could have. Oh, there's the meteorite. And he draws
And
the
then he draws
Worm
the
King.
king.
That's so unlucky. Oh yeah, and this is grand final. So we had the little flub with the Utopia too, where we didn't know the ruling for Utopia versus Deep Prison. That's like the last game though, I'm pretty sure. How that Deep Prison goes off.
Deep Prison is pretty good in the side. It's probably like one of the better cards in my side.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioned what do you call it? My body being really good in Karakuri, but in my deck it's super awkward still because I have to set it before I could activate it to combo
Yeah,
off.
that's true.
Once again, mind control OP. Yeah, it's right here, I think. This is where I got a ruling incorrect.
Yeah, because you thought you could attack and negate your own attack to basically burn the D prison, and both players appeared to be on the same page of thinking that's what it was. I mean, it's accepted game state, but it's incorrect.
It's just for next time.
Yeah. Yeah, see, there's him burning the D prison on the Utopia, but like that should kill the Utopia. I don't think it really matters because like that Utopia gets out in the next turn and then you win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference, but it's still like not accurate game state, so that's my bad.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, like, the deck, like, as, like, everyone can see through this video, and this is going to be a pretty long video, I'll have to edit a little bit for, like, speed-wise, but, being able to, like, you can kind of see, like, this deck, like, genuinely doesn't look bad. Like, going through the, like, you played against a lot of meta, like, you played against, like, 2 Tengu Planes, you played against Agents, a lot of the decks, like, were pretty good decks, and I would say that, like, it showed up pretty nicely. Again, even through just the fact of, like, a lot of times you open, like, heavy monster hands, which is typically, like, the bane of Infernities, but just because of, like, Gold Sark, you were able to play through it. And I think that's, like, really cool to see. Like, and especially that we could identify, like, multiple scenarios here where, like, you could have played better, which is, I mean, that's just the nature of Infernities, right? Like, you play a tournament with this deck, you're going to find, like, so many windows you missed if you, like, watch your replays. But that's the beauty of it. Like, imagine, like, the perfect player of, like, you know, like, you play absolutely perfectly, this deck should be, like, unbeatable, right? Like, like, it's just so good, which I think is, like, super cool.
It's one of those decks that even though you have a lot of success, you can always find more rooms of improvements. Like, even though I got first, I still see these replays and I'm, like, cringing at myself with, like, the lines I go with.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know, that's super funny. I love that, because, like, I mean, it, you know, there's just so much optimization, but, and that's something I kind of talk about a lot in this format, where there's a lot of decks that, like, I think are a bit harder to pull off, but it's just, like, it's because there's so much, like, tricky, like, it's not like modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you have, like, very basic, easy combo lines with decks like Infernity, for example. Like, you don't have, like, a cookie-cutter combo you can just follow. It's literally, like, based on the game state, based on so many different factors, that's when, like, this is good or bad, you know? Like, there's a lot of decision-making that plays into it, and that's why I love this deck so much. Like, I always say, I think this is the hardest deck in the format, and it's not even close. And and so like yeah, it's really cool to see you actually take a win with it. So like congratulations on that again. Like I think you're literally the first person to do it. So I think that's super sick, and I hope that this video can kind of help inspire more people to want to mess with it. A lot of people will like, people will say things like, "Oh, Infernity like too OP or whatever," but like I think it's like the perfect duality of like it's can be really strong, but it's really hard, and so like you have to be able to manage like how well you use your brain, and sometimes
Yeah,
you got a hard gamba. There is a lot of situations where you just hard gamba'd Heavy Storm and it paid off, and I'm sure there's gonna be times where that doesn't pay off.
for sure. So like in the Discord, in the Infernity Discord
Hmm.
channel, one of the person I was discussing it actually suggested playing Starlight Road, which makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
right? But I'm just not a fan of like inactive cards. Like if they have it, they have it. But like it could be possible to fit a Starlight Road in the next version of it for sure.
Yeah, I thought about Starlight Road as well, but honestly, like when I was looking at your list and just how it operated, part of me wasn't a fan of the card either. Because like it is kind
Yeah,
of weirdly monster heavy, and you kind of play slow until you get combo. Once you have combo, you're not susceptible to heavy, but you're not really pressured to set everything unless it's like a really specific hand situation. And even then, like you can
yeah.
try to get barrier live to protect yourself, or even like what's the other, like I don't know, like I actually like, because I mentioned I cut Summoner Monk in my list. I just cut Summoner Monk for a main deck debunk because I thought it could go off. And
Oh, that's viable.
yeah, that was like the spice. I decided I didn't actually opt for Starlight Road. There is a world, like I did consider Starlight Road too, but just tampering with the list, I don't know if it's actually necessary, but it is something to think about because like that is pretty strong. And I guess one final question I'll ask, because like in the Hydro Pump list, in game 2s and 3s, like instead of like trying to support his combo, he would opt to go into like a randomizer control. And I
Yeah,
didn't hate that idea, and I kind of want to know what you think about it, like how you feel about it, because like post side
I'm
doesn't not
actually
get harder.
I'm actually opposed to the idea completely
Really?
because if you look at the metagame, well not the metagame, I guess control decks in general, right? So the
Hmm.
control decks in this format we could say is like Gravekeeper, Heroes, and TG. I'd
Yep.
consider those like the
The main
like
control
control
decks.
decks.
Yep.
So you're trying to be a control deck, and you're trying to be what they are, but at a like weaker state. Like for example, like what does Off- Offering to the Doom, right? That's the card that
Yeah.
we side. So
Yeah.
Offering to Doom doesn't really do anything in those specific matchups because in Gravekeeper you can't hit face down monsters. In Heroes they change Spark, and if you hit a TG monster, it doesn't do anything. It just lets them float further. So at
Yeah.
the end of the day, I don't think those cards are good against control decks.
Yeah. It just
In terms
specifically
of
outs Thunder
combo
King,
decks,
but that's not super
against
relevant.
combo decks, I'm not too sure. I haven't tested randomizer into control decks, but I'm okay with not having randomizer. Like I prefer just working around their side deck cards with my side deck cards.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. Yeah, and I mean, it's there's definitely two ways to approach it. I don't necessarily think the idea or the concept is bad. I actually like, because again, I like played through Hydro Pump's list in Tournament of Tournaments, and it felt pretty
Yeah,
good to me. So I didn't think it was like terrible, but I do like it's kind of just like maybe a playstyle preference. Because I don't think either is like incorrect is how I would like look at it. Because I do see like the thing I liked about randomizer control was like it versus back row v back row. Like if you're against a control deck, like you're siding into triple D prison or whatever as well. So like D prison goes hard in those matchups, and randomizer just lets you see more back row. So like you're kind of just outpacing them in theory. Like if you're trading one for one over and over again, randomizer is slowly winning you the game. Um, so I understand that metric of it where I think it could be good, but like I totally get if people don't want to do that too. I just wonder if like
I just
there are more
I just don't
punishes to
think
combo.
offering is good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
offering is an odd card for sure.
like it does nothing against control decks in my opinion.
All right,
That's
well I'm gonna wrap this up again because of time. But Thank you so much for like doing this with me, talking me through. Hopefully this can inspire more Infernity players. Are there any final thoughts or shout outs you want to give before we close this video?
Um, I guess shout out to my community, I guess. Like Card Brawlers, Team Iron, and I guess David as well. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining and making history with the deck. I love to see it. I'm happy to see it. But yeah, we'll wrap it up here. So guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of BS45's Infernity list and his tournament run. I think it was really cool to see the deck finally see some success. We'll just give a quick shout out to my Patreon. So shout out to Grant Johnson, Beast Eyes, Slap God, My Dude, Photo Shooty, Brian Ford, and Sven Albrand. Thank you guys so much for the support. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and have a great time doing today.